name is Bear Siragusa, and you are listening to the Hunting Hound podcast presented by W Hunting Supply. Well, we're here. It's been a little while since I've recorded one of these, actually. It's been over a month. I got a couple done before Christmas and then haven't done one since, but I'm starting off the new year with a great guest. And those of you that have read any of my articles in Bear Hunting Magazine have read about my next guest and his dogs, Smoke, Ace, Rolf, and Sal, and then Dan, who I inflicted on Jon Steinar. So, Jon Steinar, or John, as you're known in Canada, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
I mean, I wanted to talk to you for a long time, and it's just now we finally had the time. You have an elbow injury that slowed you down enough for me to catch you.
Yeah. Good luck with that one.
Yeah, no, that kind of stuff's no fun. So, how was it's midwinter here in Norway. How was your season? You were hitting it hard, going after bear in Sweden and moose everywhere.
Yeah, it's been a good season. The hunting was good. The dogs have done great, and the bear season started out well. Much of it thanks to Smoke.
Yep.
But later this fall he died, so it kind of put me down.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But
That's too
and the moose season started really, really slow. But the first week was terrible, but after that it went much better. So
right.
The dogs got in shape, and we got in the better areas, and
Good. Yeah.
So we got what we was looking for. So
yeah, good. I'm glad your season was a good one. It's one of those things where, I've hunted with people in this area that I hunt who have said, "Oh, it's a terrible season. There's no moose, there's no roe deer, there's no fox, there's nothing." And that's not been my experience. So it's one of those things where even if it starts out bad, if you give it a little bit of time and get the dogs out, eventually it's going to start. Usually it starts clicking pretty well.
Yeah. You need to spend some time outside, and eventually it will pay off. So
yeah.
And many times I've been around and helping a lot of those moose hunters. They don't have any moose, and they can't fill their quota. And if they don't fill the quota, their quota goes down next year.
Right.
So, and sometimes people call me and ask if I can try and kill the rest. So, and usually there's a good moose population there. So, in a couple of days, it's usually done. So,
right.
They get really surprised and ask me, "Oh, where do you find this?"
And that's
the best area we visited one time. They had, I think there was 3 moose left, and there was 1 day left to hunt. And this is some years ago, and the population in that area was really good. And but they told me there is almost no moose, and the dog is not working properly. So can you give it a try? Yeah, okay. And we had 5 bay-ups and shot 4 moose. And they had 3 left.
So, on the last day.
That's a good day.
Awesome. That's a good day. Oh, I love stuff like that. I want to talk about all your dogs, but since we're talking about moose, I wanted to talk about, a lot of people, when they go into training a dog, whether it's a hound or a bird dog or a moose dog, they're going to be really happy when the dog just starts to work really well. You actually had a dog where you were like, you took a dog and trained it not only to hunt moose, but to hunt bull moose.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. That her name was Ylva,
yeah.
right?
Yes, that was Ylva. Yeah, she was a very, very special dog, and I always, since I started hunting with the moose dogs, I dreamt of a dog like that, and it was more like a coincidence. She was really hard-headed, and she was about 1 year. I think or maybe not 1 year, to maybe 10 or 11 months that fall, and I was hunting for one specific bull that I knew was in one area. But big bulls often have, in the heat, they have a lot of moose around. It's cows and smaller bulls and hanging around them. So it's not always easy to get hold of them because usually the dog just baits up the first moose he can catch.
Sure.
And I've been hunting in that spot for 3 or 4 days, and I shot all the moose the dog spayed up because I thought eventually I will get to you. So
you shot his entire entourage?
Yeah. I took out this family tree. And on the fourth day I went, it came a little bit snow at the night, and I head out in the morning, and then I saw tracks out from that spot. Then he was almost alone. There was only one 1.5-year-old cow with him.
Okay.
So, and I went towards the mountains. So I took out Ylva and showed her the tracks, and she was really hot in the tracks, so I just let her go. And she took off maybe 2.5 kilometers, and then I could hear her start barking. So I knew she found it. And then after maybe... And that was just a second bay up in her life. So it was... Yeah, I know how it is with young dogs. The first times it makes your heart good.
Yeah,
and
it's the best. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, so listening to really, really nice bay up, she was just giving it, and about 100 barks per minute, and I felt that one. And after just 15 minutes, it stopped. And I can see on the Garmin, she went about 100 meters down to a lake, and she stopped, and she was not moving at all. And I had to go there and run over there and to look at her and see what's going on. And the bull moose had kicked her so hard. So she was just laying there. And then my thought was that you will never bark at a bull moose again because you got beaten the first time. That's usually a normal reaction for a moose dog.
Sure.
Later that day, I went there with an older dog, and I shot that moose as a 14 pointer, so nice for Norway. And but after that, she was not afraid of moose, but she started to chase them, the bull moose. So
wow.
Of course, she would chase other kinds of moose, but if there had been a bull in the area, she could run past all the others because she wanted that with the horns.
Wow.
So it was so, and I often, I almost always shot the bull moose when she barked, bait them up, and then she learned, okay, let's do this. So the last years she just so had a lot of, and you learn much from that, because you can, with the tools we have today, with the Garmin and the tracker we use over here, you can see exactly what the dog are doing, and when the dog finds the moose, you can see on the behavior what kind of moose it is.
Right.
I could always tell, oh, that's a bull.
Right.
So for usually they can do a lot of strange stuff to lose the dog. They can, when the dog finds a family, the cow will always try to protect the calf. So she will kick after the dog and chase it a bit, and the moose will just stay there. He will stand totally still, not even look at the dog, because he will not draw attention to himself. So while the cow is chasing the dog, the moose starts slowly to walk away. He can take 5 steps. Okay, the dog is not coming. Okay, take 5 more. The dog is not coming. Okay, I run.
Yeah.
And then because the dog is then busy with the cow. So
The cow, yeah. Right.
that's
Wow. Wow.
so
That's
yeah,
crazy. And she
interesting
got to
hunt
be
there.
pretty old too, didn't she?
Yeah, she had some health issues because she was so hard on herself. So she bade up very long, many hours. She bade up 30 hours and 27 hours, and she crashed her lung. It was,
Wow.
2 times 1 year. So she had only 1.5 lung, but you didn't notice. So
Wow.
she, special one. Yeah.
Tremendous
But
dog,
she will get
yeah.
12, yes. 12. Yeah.
Good. Wow.
Once in a lifetime.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's the sort of dog that you dream about and most of us never get.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow.
And she smiled.
Now you've got her daughter.
Yeah, Vilja. So she had her best season now this fall. So, and she bade up 2 big bull moose. So maybe.
Cool. Nice. Maybe she'll take after her mom.
So
That's
I hope
exciting.
so.
And for
She sound like her.
cool. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and then we should probably tell people what for the moose dogs, you're not running the Norwegian moose dogs. You're running the Swedish ones.
Yes, Swedish, jämt.
Yeah. What's the difference between those two breeds?
They do the same, but the the Swedish one are much prettier, better looking.
Yep.
He's has longer legs, better body. It's easier to hunt them several days in a row, and they are more and they care more about you as an owner. What do you want? They are more very intellectual dogs. You can teach them whatever you want, and when you hunt a lot with them and shoot a lot, so they get to really, they can find solutions in many different ways to stop the moose, because I only shoot moose that they bay up, never shoot running moose, because that has nothing. It's their job is to stop it and bay it. So when you always do it like that, they find their own methods to stop it. So many people say, "Oh, he need to face spark them. He need to do like that." And there is, if you use them enough and you shoot enough, they will adapt and find their own way to stop the moose. There is not one way. There is several ways to stop it. So.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And you use your Swedish elk hound, or like Swedish moose dogs for you'll use them occasionally on bear and predators, right?
Yeah,
you have in the past.
Mostly for bear. Yeah. There is, if you look at the last 10-20 years, there has been more of the Norwegian elk hound that has been a moose dog that has been better on bear than the Swedish one, because they have that tracking ability in their bloodlines. There is starting to get more and more of the Swedish breed now that does the same, but the Norwegian moose dog has have more of the tracking ability in their blood, and they are more like they bark at everything. The Swedish hound is more like, oh, I chase moose. That's what I do. But now in the last years, there's been bred on those good dogs that has been very, very good at bear. So it's a lot of good Swedish hounds on bear.
Because you, apart from all of the hunting you do, you also film quite a bit of it. So you have your own streaming service called Norwegian Outfitters TV, where you'll put out films and shows about, you had a great one about your Ylva dog, and you usually do a couple of episodes about the bear hunt and things like that. But you had one, I remember, where you went to Canada and you went and hunted with some of the plot guys over there, and you took your Swedish gray, your Swedish elk hound, your Swedish moose dog over there and hunted bear with.
I believe it was the first. I believe it was the first Swedish moose dog that was over there and hunt for bear, and the outfitter didn't understand that.
But, I remember that my favorite part of that episode is the outfitter being like, "Huh, that bear must have been sick."
Yeah, because what's the advantage of using one or two moose dogs? It's they bay up and they are quiet on the track. So the bear usually bay up where they find it on the bed or where they lift it in the track or wherever. So with the plots or walker or something, they will run quite a bit before they stop. But the job for a moose dog is to bay up right away. So
and you've got plots, like that's most of your dogs are plots.
Yeah, I had some walkers, but plots are that's my favorite.
Yep. So and a lot of your plots came from Steve Moore out in British Columbia. The Ursus
I had
plots.
It's the bloodlines, and I took them from a friend of him that is an outfitter and hunted them a lot. So I was lucky to get to buy some of the older dogs. That was really good, like Smoke there. He was, that was a fabulous dog. And the first really good dog I got to buy was Ace that I got from John Lockhart. That was also an outstanding dog. So
I wrote about Ace. I wrote about Ace for the first Bear Hunting Magazine article I did, where I talked to you a little bit, and we talked a little bit about preparing for the seasons and a little bit about Swedish bear hunting, but I talked quite a bit about Ace. That was a legendary dog.
Yeah, he was something. So, but he also got sick, so I just had 3 good years with him, and then he was retired.
Right. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. No, you've got... how many plots do you have now?
I have 4 right now. One that's
4, so
8
three
weeks.
3 adults and a puppy? Yeah.
Yeah. So...
And the puppy is an exciting one because it's a line you've not had before, right?
Yeah, new bloodlines, and they have been doing really good in Sweden because the guy sold them. He have had those lines for maybe 15 years, I think. And
those are Joe
all
Nay
of them have
pups,
done
right?
really good. Yeah. So,
Joe Nay bloodline. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I hunted.
those
I
lines
got some really nice. I got some really good movie film from this fall when we shot bear for a bull. That's her grandfather. And that's our awesome dog.
Cool.
Do it all by himself. Just can put him on an old track and he just take off like a rocket, and in 1 hour or 2 hours it's bayed up.
Right. Wow, that's amazing.
So and he usually bays them up where he finds
now
them.
that we're
That's
talking a little bit about bears. What's that?
He usually what's good with that dog is that he usually bays them up where he finds them, and that's not so usual for a plot.
Oh,
so he has learned something. So, yeah,
that's interesting. That's interesting. You've been over and hunted the black bear over in Canada a couple of times, and what you're hunting over here is the big European brown bear.
Yeah,
like you've done both things. What are some of the differences? Like what makes it different over here?
It's the brown bears won't climb sometimes, but not very often. And they are more aggressive, and they black bears, they much easier to hunt. They climb trees and not so don't caught so many on the ground. They climb, and the brown bears are more aggressive. They can run maybe 30-40 kilometers before they stop. Sometimes they can bay up straight away if it's a big one, but usually they can run far away before they stop, and then there's the population. The population is not so big, so you need a really good track dog to find them. They need to take old tracks, at least not very, very old, but if you have a dog that can figure out the track that's 10 to 12 hours, then you will do good. So
that's interesting. That is interesting. It seems like when I talk to guys from the United States, they'll frequently talk about, we talk about walking bears that refuse to tree and stay on the ground, and can be kind of hard on dogs. But I mean, pretty much every bear here is a walking bear.
Yeah.
And
it is.
One of the other big differences that I've seen anyway is, in the States, it's not uncommon to drop, 5-10 hounds on a bear. But here and in Sweden, you can only drop, what is it, 2?
Two.
Yeah.
And you have to use the same 2 dogs the whole day. You cannot change.
Right. And isn't there something also about you can't use, once the dogs are dropped, you can't use motorized?
No, then you have to run or use a bicycle.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, what do you do then when a bear runs, 40 kilometers, which would be, heck, what would that be? That would be almost 30. No, what would that be? That'd be 30 to 20, 23 miles. Like, are you just out there like
you have to call the neighbor and ask him if he wants to go hunting?
If he wants to go hunting, okay.
There's a bay up on your ground. Can you go kill it? No, wow. It's hilarious. It's
that's awesome. And a lot of people that I talk to over here, they'll have a specific area that they'll hunt, and then once the quota, because all of the bear hunting is done by quota over here, once that's filled, they're done for the season. But you'll do the little bit the same as you do with the moose dogs, where your dogs are so good that people will call you and ask you to come and help them fill that quota.
Yes, usually we can go around and help different different hunters, and we start in a bit down in the south, and we go north. So we travel a lot. It's a lot of driving.
Yeah, because you're on the road from August until almost Christmas, really, between dog mushing, or sorry, between the bear hunting and the moose hunting.
Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing.
So
that's amazing. So
that's why the arms falls off.
that's why your elbow hurts, all the shifting as you're driving. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. But do you have a cameraman with you, or do you do most of the filming yourself? How do you do the TV, like the film aspect of things?
I do it all myself. I have a camera on my head, on my gun, and in my hand, and on the dogs. But not so often in the bear hunt, because in August it's so hot outside, and I don't want to put the vest on them. And often, very often, the bear goes into a very, very thick bush, and the camera will hit into trees all the time, and that will set back the dogs a bit. So then I just put the collars on them, and they don't have to wear that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but not all the areas are that bad. But some of the areas, it's almost not possible to walk in there. It's so thick, and always when they stop in the thick bush and they lay down. Sometimes you almost step on them. So,
wow, yeah, I had It is kind of crazy how close you can get to them. Such a huge animal and not know that they're there. Like this thing that happened this fall with me, where, I was pretty sure that Vitby, my American foxhound, that she had a badger, was what went through my head, because she was, usually on a fox she'll be at about 65 barks a minute, and she was suddenly up in like 120. Just losing her mind. And I walked in there, and I wasn't more than 30 meters, so like 30 yards away, when suddenly that bear went blowing out of there. It was like, I couldn't believe I could get that close and not actually know it was there. Scary.
Yeah, many times. This was in the training season before the hunt started. My moose dog bait up a really big one, and I went in there. I was at 10 meters away from it. The dog is running around me, and I was thinking maybe not go any closer right now. But I could not see it. It lay down in a ditch, and it was possible. So, but if it was in hunting season, I would take the last steps, of course, and finish it. But not without a gun.
No, I think that makes sense. I felt pretty naked standing there with my little shotgun filled with fox shot. Yeah. No, it's they're big animals. They're such cool animals. They really are. They really are. But when I guess let's talk a little bit about what got you into plots in the first place. Were you a bear hunter first and then got into the plots, or did you get into the plots and then become a bear hunter?
No, I was the first. I started hunting with dogs when I was about 14. Then I bought my first dog, and it was a wiener dog.
Okay.
So it went upwards from that.
They got taller as the years went by.
Yeah. The legs grew out. I started hunting roe deer with that, and
Yep.
that was my passion for a while. And it was about I was 16 years old when I bought my first moose dog, Swedish breed. I started to hunt moose, rented my own area, and just because where I live, I could not take part in any hunting team. There was closed. There was no new members, so I just had to do it on my own. My daddy was on a hunting team, but then he asked several times, "Can't he come? All he want to do is hunt." So no, there's no room for him. So tired of that shit, I got a hold of an area up in Rendalen.
Yeah.
And I went there and I managed to shoot the quota. It was only four moose. Shot those and was happy. It was my first moose hunt and my first moose and everything. First moose for my first moose dog. So that was kind of special.
Stuff.
And and it started all from that, and I just got hold of more and more areas, and I hunted moose in four or five different areas. So shot about 50 moose a year. I got one more moose dog, so I had two dogs that, two well-trained dogs with no injuries. You can hunt every day. So, and then the bears start popping up in my head. I wanted to try that, and but I didn't know how. I didn't have the dog material, and but then there was this travel agent starting to call me and asked, "You want to come to Canada and hunt bears?" Of course, I want to hunt bears, but I want to hunt them with dogs. Do you have any dogs? Oh no, no. Call me when you get hold of some dogs. And they went 1 year, and I remember it was around Christmas, and he called me, and now I got dogs. You want to come? Yeah. And I borrowed the money and bought the trip and went over there. It was a really, really nice trip, but the dogs sucked.
Okay.
They chased. They didn't tree one bear in a whole week. And we saw bears all over the place. So it was blue ticks. So
that's a bummer.
They chased trash all day, whole week, and no paws left. That was terrible.
Man.
I went back the next year. I was thinking about I need to get hold of a good bear dog. No, I didn't wait till the next year. I went back in the winter.
Okay.
I was fooled. Once again, I was trusted this outfitter and the good dogs, and came there in March looking for a cougar, but there was no snow, so so hard to find a cougar without the snow. And still got those good blue ticks, and they didn't find any. So, but at least he knew the guy who changed my bear carrier, the John Lockhart. So he told me, if you are so interested in dog hunting, there is one guy you need to meet. He's far out, but we can go there if you like. Yeah, of course. It's better to go visit some guy than run around in circles in those hills and not finding any cougars. So we took one day and went out to his place. He was not at home, but there was a lot of plots there. And that was the first time I ever saw a plot, and I was, wow, what kind of cool dogs it was. Yeah, I was impressed by the look of it, and he had some really outstanding dogs at that time, and we put a note on his door and asked if he could. We tried to reach him, and if you want to see us, we are at Mike's place at Wednesday at 6. And a couple of days went by, and Wednesday 6 o'clock he was there. So then we talked about dogs, and I understand right away that, oh, that's the man. So
This is the guy, right?
we
Yeah.
talked for a whole night, and yeah, that's the guy. And he told me, and I asked him, "Do you have any dogs to sell?" No, no, he won't sell any dogs. Okay, that's too bad. But I'll come back in 2 days, and I'll show you why I got these bloodlines. Okay, great. And he came back with a bag full of videos. And he didn't have much, John. He had a little tiny house with just plastic for windows, but he had a bunch of dogs and a video camera. So he filmed. He filmed a lot, and then he showed me some hunts with those dogs, and they gave it all. So from I couldn't even believe what they did and what they showed me. But you see it, you have to believe it. So
Right.
And from that it went to, and then he told me, after been talking a lot, and okay, you can buy some dogs. And then I bought 4 dogs from him, and he had, I think, 25 plots, and there was one walker. And I told him I want that walker because that must be a good one. No, not for sale. But then I bought 3 plots, and I had bought a walker from the somewhere in the States that the outfitter had brought for me. So he was out in the States, picked it up and took it to Canada, so he was in the same place. And I told Lockhart I need that walker to breed with the male I got, and if she's that good. And the last day I was there, he came back and he thought, if you want that walker, you can take her.
Wow.
But I want some money for it. And it was, I get 6,000 I paid for. And
wow.
But yeah, and all the at that time there was they had to stay in quarantine for 3 months,
Sure.
120 days,
Yeah.
before they could travel because of the rabies vaccine.
Right.
So this outfitter that never owned a good dog, he went bananas, and he used my dogs that I bought from Lockhart all the time.
Okay.
Ended up with an email from that from that guy telling me, "Oh, the worst day of my life. All your dogs got beaten up today, and one got killed. Okay, send me pictures. I want to see the injuries because I can't pay 200,000 to get them over here, and it's no use." So I never get any picture. He got angry with me because I asked for pictures, and but it ended up with that walker female. She was really gritty. So it ended up the bear had stumped her down to the ground. So she had not broken, but almost broken all the ribs. So she couldn't walk for 14 days. So when she came over here and met the big brown ones, she wasn't that happy about that anymore. So
okay.
she always chased them until they stopped, and she came back.
Okay.
So she didn't turn out very well, but I had 2 litters from her, and they was exceptional. So that's Ralph from her, and he was totally crazy. So and the whole litter, the one several of them chased bear for 8-10 hours when they were 10 months old. So
wow.
And
Ralph was one of those puppies?
Yeah.
Okay. And he just died recently, didn't he?
Yeah, he died recently, just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was hard because he was a hell of a dog.
Yeah.
So it's the only dog I seen that could, he could put himself in so respect, because when the bears bay up and those big guys. They walk slowly towards the dog, and they put the ears back, and then now they will beat the hell out of that dog. But when the bears did that to Ralph, he met them. I got it several videos. Then if you wasn't there, you could hear it, because he started go from barking and he started screaming when they come within 1 meter, and there was 50 centimeters left. He started bite. He bit them in the nose, in the side of the head, everywhere, like crazy. And they just shook their head and walked away, because what the fuck is this? So I was thinking many times that one day you will get killed, because this worked every time for him. So
right.
So well.
Wow.
But it's hard for your heart to stand and listen to that, because you never know how it turns out. But he has he chased together with Sal on one bear that was wounded, and he managed that too. But Sal was badly hurt, but
I remember
Ralph had some holes, but not serious, and still crazy. So but that's
crazy.
But that's
I remember that
blood.
hunt. I remember that hunt where Sal got beat up. I wrote a little bit about Sal in that article as well. And that's because he got badly injured. He got bitten through the pelvis, didn't he?
Yeah, he bit off the pelvis bone there. So
back at it this year. Hunting again, amazing.
Yeah, the back leg is not working properly, but you could not tell that he was beaten up. When I put him on the track, it was an old track too, because we had already shot one bear that day, and there was a guy that had seen a bear at 11 o'clock the night before. So I was there at the midday, and I thought, maybe just to work on the leg that was not completely, because there's less muscles in that leg. So I thought, I go up there and I'll just let you go so you can run. And there is some smell there, so you can, get him to go a bit. But he just took off, and he found that bear.
Wow.
And he lifted it after I think he used maybe 1.5 hours. Lifted it, but he was in a swamp area by a lake. He lay down there, and he just took off. And then the hunt was on. I just went back to the hunting team that was sitting and having lunch, and told them, get the hell out, because the dog has lifted the bear. Now you have to be ready. So we didn't get that bear, but that was just unluck. He chased it all day until almost dark. So that was...
Wow. Cool.
He gets really tired because he only he there's some support in the third leg, but in the fourth leg, but he only have 3 functional, so he gets really tired. But
gets tired, sure.
But he can find them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Sal's become a little bit of a legend on his own, as well, because you're pretty active on. But when you pop up out of the forest, you'll update people. You'll go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, and update people on how you're doing. And so it's been really fun to watch Sal's recovery from, because the first vet you took him to was like, oh, we need to put this dog down.
Yeah, that was the first thing. They just wanted, no, we have to take him out, because this is too bad. No, it's muscles and it's bone, and that's supposed to grow together, isn't it? So you have to do something. Oh, but no, we can't do anything here, but you have to go to hospital, and that's 7 hours drive. Yeah, so what? I can go to the North Pole just to fix my dog. So fix it. But then I called, I was a bit angry, and I called my own vet that I have back home, and I took a video call, showed her the dog and everything, all the holes and the x-rays and everything, and she told me, just bring him home and we will try to fix him as best as we can. And just packed my car and put them in there and went back home and into Oslo and the hospital, and they opened up and they could not repair it because there is a lot of muscle attached to the pelvis. So if they cut that open, they would ruin more. So they just opened it up and cleaned it and checked for bacteria. There was none bacteria at all. Because when he was bit, I took him right to the car and I gave him the strongest antibiotics there is, and I think that saved him. Because when the bear bites into bone, and if the bacteria goes into the bone, they can't save them. So they told me that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So. Yeah. I remember you sent me the X-rays, and I brought them with me to work and had the vets there look at them too, and they totally agreed with your vet that was a treatable injury. So I'm really glad you didn't end up listening to the vet you talked to first, because that was unfortunate that they were not willing to even entertain the idea of helping.
Yeah. And the vets in Sweden, not all of them, but many of them, they are not very good at their profession.
Okay.
So lots of Swedish houndsmen go to Norway.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah.
And the prices are almost the double.
In Sweden?
In Sweden, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, it's, if it was a Yorkshire Terrier we were talking about, I might say maybe put that dog down. That's a bad injury.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about a plot, I mean, I've never seen a tougher dog than a plot. I mean, and that's the truth. I've had sled dogs, all of these, ran sled dogs for 25 years. I've never seen a dog that's tougher than a plot.
No, not me either.
They're insane.
I have, as Jim, that was the father of Ralph, and I bought him from Lockhart, and he was so hard. He was at the vet several times because of injuries, fighting bears and being crazy, and he was just standing there. Didn't matter. Yeah. He, no, they can sew him up and do anything. He was, I don't need anything. Just stitch me up and I'm ready to go.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So a lot of the people who listen to the podcast have been asking me for a while for an update about Dan. Because most people know that
the moose dog.
I had the moose dog, the moose hunting plot. Most people know that I had a plot that I really, really liked named Dan, and most people know that when he was about 4 months old, he went and found a moose and then baited up, and it kicked him in the face. And instead of coming back to me, he got angry and ran that moose for about 10 miles and stopped it. And I got into him finally at 4 months old, standing and having backed this moose into the bushes, bleeding from both of his nose holes. And it seemed like, a little bit like you talked about with Ylva, that instead of scaring him away from moose, it just kind of gave him this hate relationship to them. So he's out for revenge, which is, I got him to stop towards the end.
I can
here.
Confirm that.
But I thought he was done, because like I'd hunted fox, we'd seen moose with him out, and he'd come back to me like no problem, and then he's been doing pretty much nothing but hunting moose for you. Which is such a bummer. Which is such a bummer, because he's such a good, he's got such a good nose and he's such a good dog, but he's just hunting the wrong stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, it's been kind of frustrating this fall, because he got a lot of chances and on bear, because that's what I want to use him for, and he's really nice body, fast dog, and he got that crazy twist in his head. You need to do this. So, but and one time he just had this exceptional good race together with Ash, and just after maybe 2.5 kilometers, it's a U-turn. He goes back, but not in the same track, but a little bit off, and then and he barks like hell. And of course, it was a moose, and he chased it until dark. So that was really, and just maybe 1 hour later, we shot that moose on not the moose, but the bear on a really nice bay up, and that's where I wanted him to be.
Right.
But he was in a river with a moose.
Bummer.
So
Bummer. I hope he gets over that. It's because that he's such a gritty dog. Like we really had. I liked so much of his personality, and he was by far the best fox hunting dog I've had. Just because once he got on one, he just never stopped. Like he would jump fences, he would swim rivers, he was just unstoppable. But that moose thing, I thought he was done with it, but I guess not.
No, I will help him a bit, but I think if he can just stay long enough in the race that we catch one, then I think the switch will turn, because
I think so too. Yeah,
because he will love it. So
I think so too. I have that feeling that if he stays in it long enough and actually gets to that bear, he's gonna forget moose. Yeah. He's gonna be so excited about it.
I think so, because he have that mentality.
I hope so. So now you've got Dan and Ash, Sal, and then this new pup.
Yep. So
gotcha. So who?
I also have this. Also have Arr, the Scar.
Right.
He's that, but it's just let's call it a pack dog.
Yep.
And he can't stay in the race for very long. After 3 hours, he just lays down. So I don't know if there's something wrong with him, or if he gets so mentally worn out, or by chasing bears. That can be it, because he always been like that. So, but if they bay up straight away, he's not afraid. Then he's really up in their face, and so he's not afraid either. So there's something strange, but
that is strange, because I've got Buzz is Odd's nephew, so Odd is his uncle. After that Bond dog, I think.
Well,
yeah. And no, I was just down at the big fox hunt that the Norwegian hunting and fishing organization puts on every year this weekend, and that was a lot of fun. They had 363 hunters, 110 hounds, and it was fun. They broke everybody up into like 15 different hunting teams and gave them all a part of the area. And but it was funny. Of all those 110 dogs, I don't think there was a single plot there.
Oh,
which surprised me. But I took Buzz. And
they will catch more foxes then.
Yeah, right. Because they took 18. Everybody, like in total, there were 18 foxes taken. And the last There was a German Jagd Terrier that went down into a hole on Sunday at about 10 o'clock, and they dug it up with a excavator, like a digging machine, at noon yesterday. So it had been down there for like 26 hours.
Yeah, that's a typical.
typical German hunting terrier. Yeah. Ugh,
Yeah, they are crazy.
they're so crazy. They're like plots with a terrier attitude.
Yeah.
They're tough, those dogs, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the season going to look like for you now? Because you don't have Rolf with you, you don't have Smoke with you, but you've got Sal still, and it sounds like Ash is pretty promising.
Yeah, she's. It took some time before she attached to the environment. She was a bit off, but now this fall she did a couple good races at least. So I hope she will be there now this fall. But yeah, this fall doesn't look too good on the bear dogs because Sal, he can't go every day, but we will catch some bears, of course, with him. But Dan have to step up now. It's time.
It's time to stop hunting freaking moose.
Moose. That's later in the season.
That's later in the season. So, yeah. Man, that's so frustrating.
And Vilja also. I got that Swedish moose dog that she has done some really good jobs on the bears. So
okay, cool.
I will try her more this fall. Yeah,
that's exciting.
Because during this bear season she was sick, so I couldn't use her.
Oh wow.
So
interesting. With your TV, like, are you your streaming service? That's NorwegianOutfittersTV.no.
Yeah,
that's the website.
That's right.
And there's some just great content for anybody that wants to go and check it out. It's NorwegianOutfittersTV.no, and there's some great content there with some bear hunting in Sweden, some in Canada, some moose hunting. Just some really well put together, kind of in your face documentary style hunting stuff, which is a lot of fun to just sit and soak up. But do you have travel planned? Like, do you just hunt? Do you film where you're hunting kind of regardless, or are you planning some trips specifically for content for the TV?
No, I just film what I do. So I never plan. I don't go. Oh, I have to go there because I need some film. I film what I hunt and take it from there. So I have a lot laying around now. I have to put it together and get it out there, but my elbows are fucked up, so it's not so easy to. I'm not supposed to touch a computer, but
right,
it's not easy to let be.
That makes sense. Do you do all of the film editing and things like that yourself?
Yeah, everything.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I had one guy that was supposed to do this for me, so I was really optimistic, and when I started, I had lots of films and I put it together, and and I called him, and now I'm ready. I have lots of films to send you. You can put together, and you can look at it. But when he told me the price, I just told I had to learn it myself.
Yeah, right.
Because that was really expensive.
Oh, bet, man. It's got to be a huge amount of work, though.
Yeah, I can see it now. Why he put up that amount of money, because it's many, many, many hours behind. Not just only the filming, that's the easy part, but to put it together and put together something that hopefully people will like to watch, that's the hard part.
Right. Well, I mean, I've watched I think everything you've put out, and it's I've enjoyed it a lot. So I encourage anybody listening to check it out because it is a lot. There's some good content, and especially if you want to see something that's a little bit different. You know, there's a lot of great content out there for black bear and things like that. But if you want to see what it's a little bit what it looks like over here with these big brown bears and plots, then it's worth checking out for sure.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, I mean, and yeah, the plots are funny. You know, they get into your blood. I've got a puppy that I'm gonna go and pick up here and probably, yeah, I guess 6 weeks, something like that. 6 weeks.
Oh,
from the out of Tap.
Oh, you will take one there from that one.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
That will be interesting. Tap is a really good dog.
It's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, and this female, I've heard some good things about over in Canada about her. Talked to some of the guys over there who knew her, and her father Butch. So it is a good dog, I've heard. So I mean, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I hunted with Tap the first time he ever chased a bear in his life.
Did you?
And there was 3 brothers in that. It was 3 brothers: Tap, Quinn, and Click. And that was their first bear chase ever. And there was maybe 1 elder dog with them. Yeah, there was 1 experienced dog, and there was 3 young dogs that never chased a bear. And we put them out, or Abe put them out on the bear, and we didn't know at the time that he was putting out young dogs. He was just trying them out for Steve. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they just took off and chased like they never done anything else. And after a couple of hours, I think, 2-3 hours, this also went over to just walking. So it was a walking bear, and you can hear that some dogs were not barking that much, but Tap was always on his ass, just whoa, 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 whoa.
Cool.
And the other dogs was just barking now and then because, first time, you know. And the bear walks up in the road, and the shooter was lined up. It was a hell of a scenario, but the bear died, and once the bear got in the ditch, Tap and Quinn and Click came up on the road, and they just the Tap was just biting in his head, and the bear was not dead yet, and it was crazy. So, and what the fuck, what's kind of, well, and then I asked for bloodlines, names, and everything, and that's the first time, that's the first bear. Holy shit,
that's crazy.
And they're for sale if you want to. They're for sale if you want to buy one. Oh, but at that time I had just bought Ace months before. Okay. So I just, shit, I didn't have the money, but of course I wanted one, but I didn't have the money for one more, and I thought I had enough with Ace. So
yeah,
but I kind of regret that now. I didn't buy that dog.
Yeah,
they all those 3 brothers. All those 3 brothers got sold to Sweden.
Okay.
So they are all of them are here, but I don't I don't know if they are all alive. I think only the Tap is now old and blind, and it's he's finished.
Yeah, he's getting old at this point. Yeah, I'm excited about it, you know, because I wanted. You and I have talked a little bit about the whole thing with Dan not actually knowing what his bloodlines are. You know, that whole thing was just a little weird. So you know, I wanted. I like the Ursus plots. You know, I like all really like all of your guys. I liked Rasmus's dogs. Rasmus Bolström has also dogs from um, similar lines like the Ursus stuff. And so wanted to, kind of getting back into plots myself. Wanted to get uh, just a stable a stable dog. Nothing that was going to be too experimental with combining of bloodlines or anything like that. Just wanted to get something stable, and I was thinking about it, and this guy Christian called me and asked if I was interested in a pup, and he just caught me at the right time.
Yeah.
So,
You can't live without a plot.
Can't live without a plot. No, it's been funny, like since Dan went to you, it's like the house has felt empty. I've gone out and gone hunting, but it's been like, I've used a lot of time this year with the beagle, which has been a ton of fun, but it's a totally different thing. You're hunting roe deer. It's not, it's exciting and it's fun. I mean, it's so fun, ridiculously fun, but it's not the same as hunting with a plot. There's like electricity in the air when you drop a plot. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
that's for sure. I
can't wait.
I have a short story about we was out driving one night and just getting back from whatever. I think maybe I was shopping or something. And there was a badger on the field. And when you have young dogs, you have to. I used to train them on badgers and wild boar, and to get them in, you need to hunt them. To not only bear, because the bear season is a little short. So, I have to go back and try one of the young dogs on this one. And I went back home and get the dog and went back and let it go. And 10 minutes after, it was bayed up, but under a bedroom window.
Okay.
And that family is not very fond of hunting, so
Okay.
well, it's not much fun to go picking up. He was standing under a bedroom window and screaming the badger in the face, "Brr, brr," and trying to bite him, and the lady also in the upstairs hanging out the window with a flashlight. And what the fuck is going on? Oh, it's just my dog playing with a badger.
That's too funny. I love that. Was one thing that Dan loved. He loves badgers. Like if he, like I'd drop him on a, when I start him out as pups, I don't like to do it as adults because I think it makes them a little bit lazy dropping on bait sites.
Oh.
Like I don't always like to do that. But with a pup, like a real young one, I'll drop them close to a bait site. I want them to have to use their nose to get in there and stuff like that. So I won't drop them like right on the bait, but close by. And if there had been fox and badger on that bait that night, Dan would always choose the badger. And that was always so much fun. He chased I'm pretty sure it was the same badger under a barn a couple of times. And always got phone calls from the neighbors being like, "Are you under my barn right now?" It's like, yeah. Yes, I'm trying to get my plot out from under your barn. But, well, we've been going for about an hour here. I really, really appreciate you coming on. Jon, I've wanted to get you on here for a long, long time. And I appreciate you taking good care of Dan and giving him a good shot, and hopefully he'll stop hunting moose for you here soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too.
So
that's
eventually he will figure it out, I think.
I think he will too.
So,
yeah. I think he will too.
Yeah, hope so.
But I'm gonna if you just let the thing stay open until the upload is complete, you'll get a little message that the upload's complete. Then I think we'll call it a day, and I'll let you get back to what you were doing, and I'm gonna get out and try and plow some of this snow that's fallen. Gotten so much snow. Oh my God.
Oh, it's raining here today. So.
Sounds nice, actually. We've got snow that, I mean, I can't hunt right now. There's too much of it. I can't move in this stuff. Like it's, many feet.
Huh. Yeah, we got too many wolves, so we can't let the dogs go here now.
Oh, okay.
So, 4 different packs.
Really? So, wow. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that's, they ruined all it. So, we live in one of the, nicest areas for hunting with dogs, and lots of nice areas, but no, you can't go. That's moose populations going down. Yeah, everything else too. So,
are they the wolves that are there? Are they protected? Is that why they're not being taken out and removed?
Yeah, they are within that zone, so
okay,
we cannot hunt them. No.
That's a shame.
And we are so close to the Swedish border, and there are also lots of wolves. So
yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine who over in Sweden who bred Doberman into his hounds to give them a little bit of size and a little bit of sort of gur because there was such a problem with wolves that the dogs were getting killed by wolves. And he did that. It's probably been 10 years ago that he did that, and he's not had a dog die by a wolf since. But it shouldn't be necessary to have to breed, Tyrannosaurus Rexes.
No.
I mean, his dogs are awesome.
They're
great
if
dogs,
they want to, they.
They're good, great dogs. I love his dogs are really cool.
But if they want to, they kill whatever. But the plots are really good chasing them. So if you have one wolf alone, or if you walk with the dogs on a leash until you find them and they split the pack, then you can let the dogs go on one wolf and they will catch it. Often they stop on the bay up too. So, but you need dogs that are tough. They can't if they back down a bit, the wolf will attack. But if they keep the pressure on it, they will not attack because they're kind of cowards. So they want to watch their own back. So, that's effective. And you see that in Sweden now, when during the wolf hunt that's been going on right now, the most of them are shot in front of dogs.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's an amazingly effective way to hunt them. My American foxhound, she's the daughter of Einar, who's a well-known wolf hunting dog. It's really all he hunts. I think he's gotten a couple of bears, 1 or 2, but I mean, it's wolf. Wolf is his thing, and it's a great way. I mean, it's a great way to hunt them. They do so much damage. And the unfortunate thing is, they did some studies and found that the wolves will actually go towards the sound of dogs because they want to kill them. So it's been
the first the first wolf couple we had over here, they killed 32 dogs, and they if they could hear a dog from where there was, in the daytime they bed down, and if they could hear a dog within 10 kilometers, it was dead within 10 minutes. They just ran for it and killed it. And some dogs you only found the GPS collar. The rest was gone. So that was really bad. They
That's
were very
terrible. I
territorial.
remember there was one, or there was a couple over in Hirandalen too, 2 years ago,
Mm.
that were, I think
Yeah.
they killed
Mm.
8 dogs in a week. And
Yeah.
when the wolf hunting season opened, whatever time of the day it opened, say 9 o'clock, by like 9:03, both of those wolves were dead. It was like
Yeah.
it took a few minutes, and they had those two specifically. They knew exactly where they were with the intention of like those two need to go, and
Yeah. Oh.
they were dead almost immediately once the season opened, which
Yeah.
was good. They were doing a lot of damage. But it is
Yeah.
interesting though that what you say, that I've talked to people who have had had their Norwegian elk hounds killed by wolves, or their dachshunds, or their like the Swedish Drever hounds, beagles, things like that. Talk to people who've had their blue ticks killed by wolves. I don't remember ever talking to anybody who's had their plot killed by a wolf. I'm sure it's happened, but it's like, now that you mention it, I don't think
Yeah.
I've talked to anybody where that's happened.
No, I know of one, but that's
Hmm.
that was a young dog. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's right. There's not much.
It's interesting. It says something about the plots, I think.
Um, yeah. Lockhart, he got his whole pack killed once at a tree in Canada.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. They stayed
Wow.
overnight, and when he got there in the morning, they were all dead. So
That's
he
brutal.
was not very happy about that.
I can understand that. I just talked to somebody today who had 4 dogs killed and 3 dogs very, very badly injured by a big Tom mountain lion.
Oh,
They got on it. They got on it, and yeah, the the Tom would just lay in wait, take a dog, keep running, lay in wait, take a dog, keep running. Bit him right through the skull every time, just killed him instantly. It's
huh.
it's, it's kind of tough, That's unusual that a mountain lion does that, like actively targets dogs. That's unusual.
Chased them
But
down.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, that doesn't happen a lot, especially not when they're in a pack. But this was just a bad
No,
deal.
that sounded. Huh. Yeah,
So
I think they kill a lot of dogs, but maybe not the whole pack.
yeah, not like the whole pack slowly picking away at it. It's weird. That was weird, but yeah, we take.
Was it a lot of snow? Or?
I don't know. I didn't get all the details.
Oh.
Just got a message that it had happened. So, yeah, it's the wolves debate over here is
Yeah, that's the right word.
such a yeah, exactly. It's just like uh, it's people
Yeah,
have this sort
that's
of
right.
Walt Disney attitude towards it, and I'm not for killing them all, but at the same time, it's like you've got one that's actively targeting dogs and kids. Like, for crying out loud, get that thing out of there. Like, what is it going to take? It's like this just 2-3 days ago. It wasn't. Maybe it was right before the weekend. It was this a girl who the wolf attacked her horse while she was riding it in Sweden, and the horse was injured and needed to be put down, and the girl was thrown from the horse, and luckily there was somebody else with her that ran the wolf off of her, because the wolf actually started to go after her. And then it was like there was even a discussion then that wolf needs to be euthanized is absurd to me. I mean, of course that wolf needs to be euthanized.
No,
It's ridiculous conversation.
It should never be on discussion. It's just take it out. So
exactly.
But that's the way it has been all the time since the reintroduction. If they had been playing a little bit along the people that lives with wolves, and when the wolves goes around houses and goes to schools and follow kids, okay, take it out, and don't say it didn't happen. That's been going on for a long time, and I think the attitude of the people would have been different if they would just been a little bit on our side. But you see what happens when the wolves get too close to more populated areas. Then they put extra guards and they start hunting it right away. So they divide people.
They do, and it's too bad because I think, though, like I said, I'm not for killing them all, but the ones that start causing problems, it's what makes it so that, when you don't take care of those ones, you're sending a real bad sign that you don't matter, which is too bad. But no. I hear you have a puppy in the background there that needs to go outside, so I'm going to let you go. But thanks for coming on, John. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon anyway. Oh, it's my pleasure. Yep. I'm really, really glad we got to do this. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right, my friend. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Man, I love that sound.